Okay, welcome back to part two. We're going to start getting into more of the specifics now. So I really appreciate you hanging out with me with part one. And again, don't want to make these videos too long, but I'm doing my best to try to condense a hell of a lot of information and research that I've done over the past several months in as short amount of time as I can. So I appreciate your patience as we go through this. Okay, so let's see here. So this is, there's different ways that you can technically invest in metals. So you can do so in person, which means like going to a coin shop and exchanging your fiat dollars, which is worthless, right? Over the past, 100 or so years since the Federal Reserve and the US dollar has been printed by them, are the value, okay, which is an important term here. The purchasing power of the US dollar has been watered down to the point that it's lost 99% of its value. 99%, because this is what central banks do. Okay, so this is why it's so important that you invest in metals, because metals does not lose its value, okay, especially long term. This goes back thousands of years, 6,000 years. It's biblical. It's been used all throughout time as an exchange or barter. And so you really, really, really want to have metals when it comes to investing. Okay, so again, I gave this caveat before, but I'll do it again, even though we're kind of all already on the same page that I'm not a financial advisor. I can't give you any sort of formal tips or anything. I've spent the last few months just going on a deep, deep, deep dive for the first time, learning about investing, learning about what does that really mean. So all of us is, a meme god, douche canoe, camp disclosure camper, whatever term we want to put for our tribe, soul tribe, starseed fam, etc. I'm wanting all of us to shine and do our best to thrive. Okay, so part of that means from a financial point of view. And so everything that I've read in terms of investing, silver is the number one commodity to invest your saving dollars into. Okay, so there's a little bit of spiel about that. So ETFs, why do we not want to buy these? So when you purchase an ETF, what an ETF means is basically you are saying through the stock market, I am going to trade my dollars for what's called a future, which means that you are signing a paper contract that this ETF, when you are ready to sell, okay, that you will end up exchanging whatever kind of at point you want to sell, just like a stock, that you are going to get that metal at when you go to sell. Okay. The problem is when you read the contract that you sign to buy these ETFs, it says in there how long it could take to actually receive your metal. So that's number one. And if shit hits the fan, then who knows if you're going to get it. Okay. But the more important thing is there is 10 times the amount, according to ETFs, than we actually have for the silver and gold that's being traded. Okay. So this is all an inflated lie. And so that's why you want to be really cautious about the ETF, because if everyone goes in when the price goes up to sell, you might not be getting your silver because there isn't enough for them to give you. And JP Morgan, as we all know, is kind of shady as you know what, and they've lied before about how much silver they have in their vaults. And finally, when they were forced to have an audit a few years ago, the auditors did not find the silver that they were quoted to supposedly have, and they gave all these excuses. And then what happens? Okay, then they get slapped with a fine. Well, who cares if I'm worth bazillions, let's say tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars. Okay, I don't know how much JP Morgan is worth, but a lot. And then I get a several $100 million fine, or even $1 billion fine? Like, what's the ratio? What's the incentive for me to stop lying in the future if I know I'm just going to be slapped with, relatively speaking, a small fine and do it all over again? Okay, so that's what we need to be cautious about. So there's that piece. And let's see, what else do I want to say here about ETFs? I think that's basically it. All right, so again, stay away from them and go for the actual metal itself. My computer's a little slow because I've got so many darn tabs open. Okay, so when you actually go to these websites, we'll talk specifically about where to go. But when you go here, you will see several options when you go to buy. Okay, so one option is to pay by credit card, and the other option is to either do a check or a bank wire. So other words you will see in lieu of check. So a check means like, traditionally we think of it like a paper check. You can also do an online digital check through your bank account, and that is called an ACH. So that's another option that you can do depending on the website and how they word it. So you will always get a better price if you pay by check or bank wire compared to a credit card. They will always charge a few percentage points higher. So even if you were to buy in person at like a coin shop or something, you always want to pay in cash because you won't have that higher percentage slapped on you. Okay. So a bank wire, it might depend on the website or perhaps the banking account, like what bank you have. But I have heard that you need to have a minimum of $5,000 to use a bank wire, and then you've got to pay like a $35 fee or something like that. Again, part of that might be bank specific, but check is the way to go. So either a paper check or an ACH is probably the best approach to take here. So I recently bought some coin through JM Bullion, one of the websites I'll show you here in a minute. And they said that you have to send, the check has to be received within 10 days. So I'm like, oh, well, that's easy. I'll just put the check in the mail and then we'll get it and it's all good. Well, it was 10 calendar days, not 10 business days. And the post office is very slow lately in terms of actually mailing things. So they didn't get it in time. So they cashed the check, which they said on their website they would do. It was all legit. And I called them and they're going to refund me the money. So I just say that because you want to look at the details when you buy from whatever website and what time frame if you're going to use a paper check to send that in and when they need to receive that by. So that means that when I called them, whatever I had bought, the market went up a little bit in terms of value. So I didn't get, they didn't keep any of the money. They're going to refund me the 100%, but I lost that transaction. So whatever I would have bought, now if I go back to try to buy that again, I'm going to have to pay a little bit more. So again, we're talking here maybe $1 or less for the different coins that I bought, but still, it's the principle behind it. So it just kind of stinks. So just kind of have that in mind when you look at the specifics of actually purchasing. So just wanted to share that with you. Now, something else for us to keep in mind before we go into the specifics is that China, good old China, is making a lot of fake coin. Okay, and that's something that we need to be somewhat cautious about, but don't overly freak out about this. Okay, so all the websites that I'm sharing with you are going to be legit websites. Okay, but here's something else I'm thinking about you need to be careful of too. When they actually mail you your coin, that they will do it in like the standard way where it's like an Amazon package where they just leave it on your front doorstep or maybe in your mailbox or whatever. So just be kind of cautious about that in terms of, are you going to be home that day? Can you make sure that you get tracking and, you don't want to spend couple $1,000 and then realize that someone stole it. So I haven't had any issues with that. I don't foresee that happening. But you might want to call them and see if you can make sure that you double check to get a tracking number, and B, perhaps even give them some sort of description to say, hey, please put it in my post office, or maybe get a P.O. box, or, just, again, things to be thinking about. Okay, so how do I tell if my gold and silver is real or not? So this website here is pretty good in terms of going through the different ways you can do that. So most of the time, we're talking like 99% plus of the time, that you actually buy your metal from like a coin store, it's going to be real. They're going to test it, and they're not going to sell you fake stuff. And through these websites that I'm sharing with you, I've bought through most of them, and I've checked my stuff, and it's all legit. Okay, so they get a lot of reviews, and they have a lot of reputation on the line should they sell you fake stuff. So COMEX, which is kind of like the name of the structure that's used to when you have the ETF. Remember I was talking about earlier, like if you bought it like through quote unquote stock market, that the COMEX is the structure that's used to actually send you your metal. And they are becoming so limited or restricted in terms of actually having access to metal right now, that they're having to rely more on China to get their metal, because China's buying everything up because they know what's coming too. And, again, we've got to thank Trump for all of this big change. So, that's a little cautionary with how much China is buying. But, again, I don't foresee the comics like relying on them and then dishing out the metal without testing it and having it be fake for everybody. I just don't see that happening, but just wanted to kind of let you know about that. So there's different ways of testing your metal. I'll talk about an app in a minute here, but you want to look kind of for specifics. There's different websites depending on what you buy. If you're going to buy silver rounds, I like the Buffalo rounds just because they're the most well-known type of generic round. And there's an easy app, like I'm going to share in a minute, that you can test to see if it's real Buffalo round or not, real silver. So the fake China stuff is going to be just silver plated, and then inside is just lead or something that's not worth a hill of beans. So there's that. But we do have an epidemic on our hands, unfortunately, folks, that China, this is really an act of war, in my opinion, that for them to fake our coinage, whether we're talking about coins that are sold through our U.S. Mint or otherwise, countries have gone to war for that in the past. And of course, we are already in a war with China and others. So if you go to Wish, which is basically all just kind of cheap stuff that you can buy through basically just China, and you type in like gold coin, they used to sell fake silver dollars and walking liberty coins and all these sorts of other things. But I tried typing those in earlier, and it looks like they've cleaned a lot of that stuff up, which is a really good sign. But, you click on some of this stuff, and this looks very real. So this is why we have to be somewhat cautious, because it looks so authentic. I mean, look at that. So this is what, $15 to buy this fake coin. And if you were to buy the real deal, you're looking at like just under $2,000 an ounce for that same coin. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. So if you're going to buy third party, you can do that. Common ways that people do that are through eBay, even Instagram. There's a silver forum. Let's see if I can There's a popular silver forum. Yeah, just thesilverforum.com. And once we go to actually sell your metal later on, which I'll talk about later on in this video, that this is a great place to do that and just get information in general and whatnot. Okay, so there's that. So here's another way that you can test your metal, that sometimes different mints will have ways in which you can test. So Sunshine Mint, I believe it's this one, that they have a marking right here, and then you can buy like a little device that you slip over it, and it will confirm that it is real. Okay. So here's the app that I have. So it's just called Bullion Test Free. And this is for Android. I'm sure they probably have something very similar for Apple. But basically, you take the coins. They only have like a limited number, especially in the free version, that you can test with. But the Silver Eagle is one. And the Buffalo rounds were another. That's why I liked buying the Buffalo. And you just kind of level it on your finger, and you strike a second coin to make it ding. And based on the pitch and the tone, etc., of the coin resonating, that it measures this, and it will tell you whether or not it's real or not. So really, really cool. And just another way to test your metal. I'll give you one more, and that is you can go on to Amazon and you can buy like a cheap little magnet. And I think you just type in like something like a silver testing magnet or something along those lines. And maybe this website here kind of talks about it more. And anyway, what you're looking for is you want to put that magnet on your coin and see how it slides down. Magnetism right here. Okay, begin your examination by obtaining a small magnet and hovering it directly above your bullion piece. If the metal and magnet attract each other, you can be certain that your precious metal is not genuine. Please be advised, however, there are plenty of counterfeit metals that are not magnetic, so be sure to do some further examination before confirming the bullion's authenticity. Okay, so this is again why you, ideally, if you're going to buy especially a large amount of coin or just metal, that you're doing so through official channels. And again, I'll go through in a minute here and give you all those good websites. So if the magnet just kind of slides down, then that is a good sign. Okay. All right. Okay, so I included this tab just because oftentimes, I did this with my coin collection that I had. I went through and I cleaned everything with, I don't know, some cleaning agent. I don't remember what it is offhand. And found out later that, actually, you probably really should not be cleaning your coins. But I'm going to say that and then put a little asterisk afterwards because it does depend on what you plan to do with your coins. Listen, if you're going to keep your coins forever and you're doing it just for like a coin collecting purpose, then clean your damn coins. It's nice to have it shiny, whether that's, I don't know, old pennies or whatever. You'll want to use like a soft brush toothbrush, and you can use Tarnex or, there's other types of cleaning agents out there. And if you want, I can do another video where I go through like a Q&A for follow-up questions, but and go over kind of other specific solutions. But if you're going to actually sell the coin, like we're talking about coin collectors or numismatics, so people who are coin bugs that want to buy it for like the coin's value or worth in addition, like its collecting ability in addition to just the metal, then they actually prefer that you don't clean it. So having it be as kind of real as possible is the way to go. So you can do, if you buy like professional cleaning, which isn't expensive, it's maybe like $10-15 for like a specific cleaning solution. Like that's what the coin shops use. And you can do a little bit of cleaning or polishing up, but you just don't want to use harsh stuff because like Tarnex, for example, or there's other harsh chemicals, it's actually a form of acid and it strips the coin. And some of the coins actually can gain even more worth if they're not cleaned, like on the Morgan dollars, for example, some of the older ones, like if there's like a rainbow patina, that can actually be worth more money. So let's see. Yeah, rainbow toning. Go to the images here. So see this kind of thing. So if you have something like that, don't wash it because that actually can make it be worth a lot more. See, look at this. $27,000. Okay. So you can buy Morgan dollars right now for, I don't know, at your local coin store, probably $24, $26, $27, something like that, based on the current price. But I'm in Oregon and there's no state tax as well. So, and Washington doesn't charge it either. So, even though they have state tax there because they have a deal with Oregon or something like that. So, so just know, like, you're going to pay, a little bit more if you have, state tax and whatnot. But you guys, I'm telling you, like, this is really such a good investment of your trading your fiat dollars for an investment. Okay. All right. So this is a really good website. This lists kind of a number of different sources for where to actually go and buy your metal online. So I will take this link and put it in the description as well. Okay, so you're ready to finally, Alex, get into the meat of where to go, what to buy, all that juicy good stuff. Okay, so here we go. All right, so Money Metals Exchange. Again, this is the one that Pimpy really promotes. It's not the best prices, so just kind of fair warning on that. But if you do buy more than, I think it's like $100, you type in that word Pimpy, and you're going to get a free 1/2 ounce of silver. So again, if silver goes up to, what did the debt clocks say in the last video, like $4,000 an ounce or something crazy, then think about that. You've got $2,000 worth of free silver right there if you do that. Okay, so that is one option. So this is a decent website just to kind of poke around and explore. So when you go to these websites, I'll use this just as kind of like an outline of what you do when you finally go to the site. Okay, so we'll talk again. I've got all these tabs here of like where to go and what to buy. But when you go here, again, we're talking about specifically silver, right? So at the top of the page will be the name of the website. You can search for things in particular. This company is family owned. It's based in Idaho. I've looked them up and kind of their background. They're really kind of solid people. They have an IRA option as well, which I'll talk about later on in the video. But right now, let's just kind of focus on what do you do when you go to these websites. So you want to click on the silver section and hover over that, and you'll see lots of different types of silver that you can buy. Okay, so U.S. Mint Silver Eagles. So this is going to be a little higher in value, in cost. So let me back up. When you're looking at the price of things, this is called spot price up here. Okay, so you got platinum, palladium, rhodium, there's copper, right? See, yeah, a whole bunch of different things here. Okay, so we're primarily focused on gold and silver. And look at the price of gold and look at the price of silver. Silver is extremely undervalued right now. This is why we're emphasizing this. Gold is about $1,900 an ounce. It's gone down actually almost like $100 or so since August, and silver's gone down maybe $4 or $5 since August as well. But you're not going to see either of these hover at this price much longer. So spot price means this is the going rate per ounce. Now it's going to be very rare that you actually buy your metal at spot price. So you can do so perhaps through third parties. But most of the time, people are going to charge what's called a premium, which is the amount that they tack on in addition to the spot price. So this is why you're wanting to go to different websites to see what is their premium. And you're also wanting to pay attention to what are my goals. Am I wanting to buy the silver for just what's called stacking, which means I want to get as much of the metal as I possibly can, which is my recommendation? Or am I going because I like cool coins and I'm willing to pay a little bit more for that coin just because I like what's being, pounded into the metal? Then you can do that too. But I'll talk about some things to stay away from if we're going towards stacking purposes. Okay, so silver. So the Silver Eagles is technically U.S. currency. So you can go, and I think it's, like $1 is what the Silver Eagles are worth, but no one in their right mind would ever do that because they're like, $28, $29 if you're lucky to buy a Silver Eagle. Let's see what they're charging here. And as I posted on Facebook the other day, the U.S. Mint's website is now jacked up the price to $67 for these Silver Eagles. Now, why did the U.S. Mint's website do that? Think about it. Do they foresee something that's coming soon? So, this is the first real big, strong nod that there's going to be a change in market value to have this go up in price so much sometime soon. That's like a 40% increase or something ridiculous. Okay, so the 2020 American Silver Eagles right now, if you buy every website's going to be a little bit different in terms of quantity, but the more you buy, the less it's going to cost, okay? But generally speaking, don't pay attention to this price here because that particular price is going to be the hook that they have you kind of, ooh, look how cheap they are, right? But then when you actually go in, they get you a little bit because that is going to be if you buy a heck of a lot. We're talking like 1,000, 2,000, 2,500, depending on what the specific website says. But it's not going to be that much more. So here it's like $1 more, right? So if you buy 1 to 39 coins of the American Silver Eagle right here on this website, they are charging $30.17 right now to buy that. Okay, but this price is always fluctuating in real time based on the spot price as it goes up. Okay, so the spot prices are always going up in real time, just like the stock market does. Okay, so you're going to see this price fluctuate a little bit. So even by the time you look at this and then you go to purchase, it's going to be, it might fluctuate a little bit. Okay, so just kind of know that that's the norm. But see right here, 29.17 as low as $4.89 over spot price. So you're paying a little bit of a higher premium because it's official U.S. coinage. And you can also put this in an IRA account should you want to. Okay, so you compare that. Now we're going to go back and we're going to go to silver rounds. And one of the questions that was asked, I think Meredith asks this question of like, does it matter if you buy coin or bars? Again, it depends on what your goals are. But if you're just wanting to stack as much of metal as you possibly can, then go for whatever is cheapest, which in my opinion is going to be generic rounds. Okay, so we'll go on to different websites and we'll talk about this more in depth. But so again, I like the 1 ounce silver buffalo rounds, but there's lots of options here in terms of what you can get. Okay, see how on here they all have different markings of like what the coins look like. It's all the same metal. Okay, it's just how it's constructed, how it's molded based on how the coin is made. Okay, so you can buy silver bullets, and I mean the sky's the limit in terms of all the creative ways that they've tried to pour this hot metal into different molds. But at the end of the day, folks, the metal is the metal, and when you go to sell it to like if you were to go to like a coin shop, they're not going to give you that much over whatever the going spot price is. So that's why you can buy silver eagles. But when you actually go to sell those silver eagles, they're not going to give you much more over spot price. Maybe they'll give you $1 or so more right now, maybe. So again, spot price is what, $24.29? So maybe they'll give you $25.26, maybe, depending on where you go to sell it, like what coin store. But if you go to buy it right now, you're going to buy it for $28, $29, $30 at a coin store. So most of the time, your local coin store is going to give you somewhat of a better price than it would be online. But again, you kind of have to shop around. So that's why we're spending so much time on these different places to go and buy, because the prices fluctuate. Okay. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of that. And you can go up. Okay. You can buy higher silver bars. You can go 10 ounce. You can even go 100 ounce if you wanted, or kilo. Okay. But when you actually go to sell it, what I have heard is that the higher ounce of like a bar or something that you have, the less money they will give you over spot price. So I don't know that to be sure because I haven't bought a kilo silver bar, for example, to go and sell, but just kind of something to consider. So, if you're going to buy a lot, then I suppose if I had, let's say, millions of dollars, what would you do, Alex? I would probably buy lots of different things in terms of how I bought my silver. I would buy a heck of a lot of 1 ounce silver coins, and I would put them in a vault, which is what I'm doing with what I already done with my stuff. So it's not in my house. So no one can come in and like try to rob me because nothing's here. You can go, we'll talk about kind of storage later. I don't want to jump the gun. But I would buy lots of different things. So I would buy kilo bars. I'd buy 100 ounce bars because the kilo, you can store more in less storage space. So that's kind of why I would do that. But I just get a bunch of everything. Okay. So again, let's continue kind of looking around here. So Canadian silver coins, you can buy. So kangaroo, the Canadian maple leaf. Let's see what else is there. The Austrian silver harmonics and the British silver coins with like the queen on it. All of those, the Britannias is what I'm talking about in particular. Like all those are technically like country's currency. So that has even more value to it because it's legal tender. So that's why they're going to charge you a little bit more over the spot price for that. Okay. But again, it depends on what you're going for. When you actually go to sell it, they're not going to really on it. You're going to be mad because you're going to be like, man, even though I bought it only $20 and it's like $4,000 an ounce, for example, like I could have gotten more for my money if I was buying in bulk, more of the actual metal if I bought generic silver versus like the silver eagles and things along those lines, because metal is metal, okay? And the buyback value, they're not really going to honor it too much of a difference, okay? So that answers that question, and that was one of Jace's questions as well. So there you go, brother. Let's see. So there's that. Okay, now Lou had a question in terms of buffalo nickels from like the 40s and 50s and the value and how is that going. So I'm going to do a whole section here on junk silver. Well, why don't I just start doing it now? So pre-1965, technically it's 1965 and before, I believe, or 64 maybe. So 64 or 65 is when they changed the content of what's inside of the U.S. Coins, okay? And before, it was 90% silver. So you can go to your bank and you can ask for coins. I don't know if they're doing it now because there's a supposed like coin shortage that's going on, which we all know is not true. And I can go into that more later if people want. But so 90% silver before that year. Okay, so you can go in and you can get like Kennedy half dollars or just other sorts of currency, and you can look on the side and it will show you if there's like a ribbon of like the copper in the middle, then that coin will look different than these pre-65 coins. So what I have heard is the Mercury dime, which is the type of dime before the Roosevelt dime, is the best value in terms of this junk silver. So another term for junk silver is constitutional silver. But a lot of preppers back when this might have been on our timeline, they were really worried about, the dollar going to waste and that they would need to barter. And so a lot of these preppers bought a lot of junk silver because, you can flake off a kilo bar to try to barter with that, or you can use these, this junk silver, this 90% silver, and I can buy, milk and eggs and all these sorts of different things with a few coins compared to, other things I might barter if, the dollar isn't worth anything anymore. So that's kind of what they were doing. But I've also heard this is the best value for silver is to buy the junk silver. So I don't know. It's very heavy and it's cumbersome and it takes up a large amount of space. But that is just an option for you. Okay. So you can also buy. So some of these are pretty cool. I have some Morgan silver dollars, and these are just kind of fun. So this is these aren't in good quality, but I keep one actually on me, even when I'm at work and everything, just to kind of play around with. I don't know. Once you start having some coins, it's weird. It's like the silver calls to you spiritually. It's like you just want to have some always on your person. So I kind of play around with it when I'm at work, and I don't know, I just like it. So these Morgan dollars here, this was actually the coin that was used in Batman with Two-Face when he would flip the coin. He used this Morgan dollar. So these are, let me say this now that I'm thinking about it. These are in poor condition, so this is called common circulated, or there's no grade. You can turn it into different companies and they can grade your coins. That's for more like professionals if you're wanting to really sell your coin for a high amount. If it's in like good condition, then the silver bugs or the numismatic coin collectors out there, will be willing to pay several hundred, several thousand. You saw earlier it was like something like 28,000 for the rainbow patina. So, if you have a good condition coin, then you can take that in and have it be valued. And then you can put that in a little like plastic container like I showed you earlier. And then you can try to sell that. So eBay is going to be probably the best place to go we'll talk more about selling later, but if you're wanting to go and sell some things, especially like one by one, the best price that you're going to get, it might take more time, but the best price is going to probably be eBay compared to your local coin store or even online, because if you sell one coin and you really kind of market it up, then you're going to get a lot of more value. So another word that's used is cull. Let's see if they recognize that word on Money Metals Exchange. Yeah. So cull is just another right here. Another name for like, it's really tarnished. It's not in good quality. But listen, at the end of the day, the metal is still the metal, you guys. So this is where if you don't care about aesthetics and you're just trying to stack metal, this is the way to go because, it's just a really good price. So again, this is Silver Eagles. You can get other coins that are cold, but you're going to get a better premium rate. Okay, lower. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so Mercury dimes. So that's a good way to go. Okay, so now let's start going through some of the specific sites and which ones I recommend and where you go and all that sort of good stuff. So I've bought through, I'd say maybe most of these, either that or I've done my homework on most of the other ones. So again, little caveat here, always do your own homework. Don't take what anything I say is gospel truth. But just trying to help you all out here. Okay. So, this right here, this is the Canadian gold maple leaf. If you are going to buy gold, this is probably one of the most, in terms of like the value that you're going to get. I mean, look at that, 1971, and the spot price right now for gold is like 1901. So you're paying like $70 over spot price. That's pretty damn good for gold. Okay, so you're wanting to look for, again, as low of a premium as possible. The closest to spot price is the name of the game that we're looking for here, okay, in terms of if you're actually just wanting to collect the metal, okay, as much as possible. So start going around to these websites, okay? We'll go through them next, and then find which ones, speak to you, okay? This is fun. Don't be really stressed out about this. If you want kind of a 30-second summary of everything, basically silver is the way to go. Buy generic rounds or bars, whatever is going to be the lowest cost or closest to spot price, and just stack as much as you can and buy as soon as you can before the price goes up. Okay, that's a basic summary of this entire video collection. Okay, so you're going to have different options. So again, it's kind of fun to go to these different sites and see what they all offer. So you can go to silver rounds, or you can type in 1 ounce silver, but Golden State Mint's a good website. Now, here's the other thing. In terms of how long it actually takes for your silver to arrive, it's taken me most of the time, some sites have varied, but generally 3 weeks to 2 months to have my silver come. Okay. And that's because there's such a shortage. And this is what I keep emphasizing, you guys. I mean, please hear me. We are ahead of the curve. The average person has no flipping idea what is about to happen. And that is why all of this matters so much. Because once the word gets out and your average Joe hears about it, it's too late. So I heard recently, if you are in a taxi and the cab driver is telling you to invest in this, you've already missed the boat. Okay. So that's why I'm wanting to get this message out now, that there's still an absolute wonderful window of time to look into this. Okay. So look around, see the prices here, right? So it's like what, 28, 26. Okay. And then just, depending on how much you have, go to these different sites, try to find good prices, and try to get some cool coins. Get like a, some sort of like, what do they call them? Like a coin collector box, or there's some cool different types of ways in which you can store or house your coins once they arrive. And again, we'll talk about storing later. Okay, so Golden State Mint is a good site. Now, the most common site to go to is going to be AppMex, APMEX.com. And they have, that's just kind of like the gold standard in terms of where to go to actually invest in all this stuff. So you can go there and you can check out their prices. What's also nice about these different sites is you can click on the deals section, and they will give you kind of what sort of deals they have going on. And so that's kind of fun to go on there and to just kind of go on a regular basis to see what sort of specials are happening. Because even though like sites like AppMex, for example, might be a little higher in price, that they've got some just cool coins. So AppMex and Money Metals Exchange are probably the highest that I've come across. But I still kind of reference them to just keep a pulse on what's going on. Okay, so let's see. I'll talk about IRAs in a minute. Here's another good website, Provident Metals. Won't go into much detail here because a lot of these sites you're going to see are going to be the same thing. That's why I kind of wanted to go through the outline of what to do when you come on these sites. So, you can just kind of poke around, look at the bars. Okay. Now, with the Eagles, let's go back here. Silver Eagles. Okay. So the certified Silver Eagles and the certified proof Silver Eagles. So this is kind of what I was mentioning earlier where they're graded. Okay, let's click on one here. So PCGS and NGC are the two companies primarily that do all of the grading. And I believe MS70 is the highest grade possible. It's on a score of like 1 to 70, if I remember right. And so when you send it in, I want to say it's $100 to have it checked, but I don't remember the cost actually. But so if you are wanting to do this, then you send it into them, you pay them, and then they take their magnifying glasses and do their sort of ways in which they test things. And then they will give you a grade. They'll send it back to you in the mail, and they put it in this little plastic thing. And then it's the whole package deal. That's part of the incentive or draw for all these coin collectors to pay a lot more than what the actual value of the coin is, so to speak, in terms of the metal, because you're paying for more than just the metal. Okay, so just wanted to share that. All right, so my favorite website in terms of the actual best value that you're getting for your coin is going to be this one here, and it's called Gainesville Coins. And I invested a pretty decent amount in terms of what I wanted to invest in silver through this website, and they gave me the best deal. Now, I bought, unfortunately, when it was a little bit higher, so it was like maybe 28 or so, 29 for spot price. So I was paying close to $30 for a coin, but I bought the Buffalo Rounds. And, but still, I'm not going to beat myself up, right? So it's gone down, maybe $2, $3 from what it was. So technically, I could have gotten more coin for my money, more metal for my money when the spot price went down. But what if it never did? What if that was the lowest it would have ever been, and then it keeps kind of creeping up into the 30s? Then I would have really kicked myself that, man, I shouldn't have waited. So this is why I say don't try to time the market. Buy now. Okay? So, but this site by far, in my opinion, has the best price. So again, don't take my word on it. Do some scoping around. Try to find what it is that you're looking for, and then go to some different sites and see if you can maybe beat the price for this. Okay, but Gainesville Coins. Okay, recommend them. Now, I will say the prior CEO was kind of shady for here. So he was indicted. He was a big gold mogul, and he was indicted recently for, I think, fraud or something like that. So that really scared me. And where I bought in person, the guy, which I'm going to mention later on, like he said, be careful about Gainesville because, the prior CEO was like a big time scammer. So that put a lot of kind of cold feet for me. But I thought, I'm willing to try it out anyway. And I got my coin and I tested it, and it was all real. So again, they have a lot of credibility riding on the line if they give you fake coins from these different websites. So that's why I'm not as worried, and I can just speak about my experience. But that everything arrived, and it was just fine. It was true silver. So Gainesville Coins, and again, remember, like I said earlier, there's going to be a delay. So this one delayed again, probably close to like 2 months or something like that by the time they actually got it to me. So just know there's going to be a delay. Okay, another good website is called Scottsdale Mint. So they have some cool coins here. Some of them are colored. So again, be careful about the colored coins. This is what I keep saying. Like, it depends on what your goals are. If you're wanting to just collect some cool coins at like a relatively decent price compared to what silver would be, then have fun, knock yourself out. You know, like this one here is a Granada, and it's got like cool, like colored in coral reef. But it's also almost $80. Okay. And again, spot price is what? $24, right? So if you were to buy just a silver round, same amount of metal content, you're going to pay like maybe $26, $27 as opposed to close to 80. So this is why I keep saying it depends on what your goals are. And see up here at the top where it says real-time price updates in 3 minutes and 23 seconds. So automatically this will fluctuate while you're on the site. So once you put it in your cart and you're getting ready to buy, then it's going to lock in a price for a few minutes for you before it fluctuates again. Now, there was something I wanted to mention on here. Oh, they have, let's see, let's take off collectible. They have some really cool bars. Yeah, right here. So these are called, it's their own proprietary method, and it's called Scottsdale Stacker, and these are somewhat famous, but you can buy 10-ounce silver bars, and what's cool is that they stack all on top of one another. So it's just kind of neat, and again, pretty good price. So what, $270 for a 10-ounce coin, divide by 10 is about $27. So again, that's still a good investment, cost-wise. So, but this took a long time to ship too. I bought couple of these. All right, let's see. I already talked about AppMex. Okay, JM Bullion. This is another good site. This is the one I mentioned earlier with the check in the mail, or 10 calendar days. So if you're going to mail a check to them, just make sure that you mail it on like a speedier route than just kind of general postage. This is kind of fun though. They're now finally starting to sell copper. So if crap really does hit the fan, copper is going to spike in price like none other, because guess what copper is used in? Bullets. So now, I mean, it's like 99 cents or something crazy for copper rounds. Yeah, see, as low as 99 cents. So, but I like these because you can pick up a lot of the cool different coin designs for dirt cheap. And again, that price, that 99 price, that is like a hook to get you to the site, because here you have to buy 500 plus in order to get that price. So if you buy 1 to 19, then it's going to be $1.49. Okay, now this is a good feature here. Okay, so this is the price breakdown. So an e-check, that's the ACH that I was mentioning, or a bank wire is going to be $1.49. But if you do Bitcoin or Ethereum, then it's $1.51. But if you do your credit card or PayPal, it's $1.55. Now, it's not going to break the bank, but when you're buying a lot of these, you can get a better value if you do a wired approach, okay, or a check. Okay, what else do I want to say about JM Bullion? Just that they're a really good price. Generally speaking, I've bought, some from this site as well, and really like what they have to offer in terms of their catalog. So you click on all silver rounds here, and they have a huge list, probably one of the largest out of any site that I've been on, in terms of the variety of the types of coins that you can buy here. So just really a lot of fun just to kind of go through and see what they have to offer. So recommend this site. Okay, and then I think there was something else that I was going to mention here before I quickly move on. Let's see. What else do I want to say here? Nope, I think that's pretty much... Oh, just Scottsdale Mint. You're going to see that one on here. So, because when I was learning about this, I'm like, man, how do I know that these sites are legit? How do I know they're going to really send it to me? So it's its own culture as you start to get into this kind of coin world which is kind of fun because until somewhat recently, it's just been a bunch of like nerds for the most part who've kind of been investing in silver and have just liked it for the coin value because, for the longest time, silver's been like what, $10 to $15 for spot price. So you can get a lot of different coins, and there's, conventions and all these sorts of places that people can go to share. It's kind of like comic books, I suppose, something like that. Like you get into the niches. But they've got silver stackers here, the Scottsdale, like I was mentioning, but you have it in like a 2-ounce coin form as well, which is really cool. And then if you log in, you can go to in stock alert, like when it comes back. But chances are a lot of these won't be coming back anytime soon because everything's getting sold out, okay? Because people are catching on to this. But it's really cool because they've got some like Q-related ones. So we are everywhere, expect us. So I bought that one. That was really freaking cool. And then when injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. And the backside of these are really awesome as well. So you can check that out. And there was another one, I'm pretty sure through this website as well, that was an actual Q coin. So let's see if I could find that real quick. Yeah. Check this one out. Where we go one, we go all. With a Q and a freaking eagle in the middle. And on the back, it says, God bless America. So this is one of the ones that like I play with every day when I'm at work. It's just kind of cool holding it in your hand. So, and here's what's also cool. Okay, so you can buy this even with a credit card for less than $30, okay? And you hop onto eBay and try to buy this, because at first I didn't know it was selling this through JM Bullion. Now, granted, they're out of stock, but I paid almost double for it. So now because it's out of stock, you probably will have to pay close to double when you go to eBay. So that's another website. Okay, so goldsilver.com. So this guy right here, he's a big name in terms of talking about gold and silver and how to invest and what all that looks like. I don't remember his last name offhand. His name's Mike, but he's a really solid source. He's on YouTube, and so I highly recommend checking out his YouTube channel as well. So he has good info, and I want to look into the IRA program that he sells here. So make a note for myself to come back. Well, why don't we actually talk about that real briefly? So if you have like a 401k or an IRA or something along those lines, you can have multiple different types of IRAs. And this is just like a retirement account, okay? And so like through work, they might set up a 401k or whatever. You can allocate that money how you want. So most of the time they're going to put that money, they kind of siphon off a certain percentage of your paycheck every month at work, and then they put it in like a 401k. If you're lucky, they will match you or come close to that percentage wise. So 2, 4, 6%, whatever. The company will match you, and then you put that into your portfolio. And so you can take that money and you can put it into a precious metal investing. And so how you'd want to do that, there's several different steps to this. So number one, you have to find a custodian. So every website will have, a lot of these metals website will kind of have their own IRA program. And I'll talk about Noble Gold here in a minute. But you want to find like a trusted custodian. So I keep seeing this one, Equity Trust. I need to, after I'm finished with Corey's course this next weekend, I want to take some time and learn about these different custodians and see which one would be good. But Gold Star Trust Company, I've seen that one a bunch too. And then after you find a custodian, that's going to be the person who's like in charge of all your metals, who houses it. And then the second piece is you got to have money in order to invest for the metals. And so you talk to like your current broker or who's ever kind of managing money manager now for your 401k, and they might give you some pushback and say, oh no, you don't want to invest in metals. Well, they're going to give you that runaround because they don't get a percentage if you leave them, and especially if you go into metals compared to stocks. My understanding is that they don't get a percentage, or at least is a higher amount of percentage, and so they're going to really try to push you away from investing in metals. So all the videos that I've seen talking about that, they say don't listen to them and just try to do it anyway. So Noble Gold is a common site that we hear about, where Colin Plume, I think his name is, the CEO. So it's on TRU reporting, X22 report, Red Pill 78. They've all talked about Noble Gold as an option for 401k investing, etc. So what I've briefly heard is that Noble Gold, I called them and talked to one of the customer service people, and they charge, I think it was like $250 a year to manage it. And that's a little high, to be honest, guys. That from the other sites that I've just briefly poked around and some homework on, it's like $100 less a year. So, big picture, those little things kind of add up, like $100 after 30 years, do the math. So, anyway, so after you fund it, then you get to choose which type of coin you want to go into your account. And there are only a certain few types of coins that are IRA approved. So you got to be really cautious with that to make sure that the coins that you are investing in that are going to be honored by the IRA program. So like Silver Eagles are one, and there's, a small handful of others. So that is kind of the nuts and bolts with that. Let's go to Noble Gold website. Did you hear that Trump was just suggested for a 4th Nobel Peace Prize? Can you believe that? Noble Gold. Okay. Let's see. NobleGoldInvestments.com. So on like X22 and these other sites, you know how like the host will kind of say, oh, you've got this coin that, can be yours if you open an account. Well, there's always kind of the devil's in the detail, right? So when I asked about that, yes, every month they give you, like, if you mention X22 or TRU reporting or Red Pill 78, they'll say, oh, okay, well, yeah, those are cool guys. They are, we have a program, affiliate program with them. And so you mention their name and you'll get, the added coin is like a bonus extra if you open an account. But I think right now for the month of October, it's like a 1 ounce gold coin or half ounce gold coin or something like that. And before it's been like, 5 ounces of silver, different types of coin. I mean, every month it fluctuates. Okay. But you have to open a $20,000 account. And I don't know if it's for gold or silver in order to get that bonus. So just kind of have that on your radar as well. Because I had a friend who was like really looking forward to it for the little worm on the hook, and didn't realize those kind of details. So so basically you can't, if you're going to do a retirement thing, you can't hold the coin yourself. Like you have to invest it in a third party. And this is where a lot of people are saying, I don't really know if I want to do that. But again, there's pros and cons, right? I mean, I don't really see crap hitting the fan to the point that like, oh my gosh, the world's melting down and, I have to extract all of my coin right now. I'm freaking out, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you would still be able to do that. You can always cash in your retirement account, but you're just going to take a huge hit financially because you're going to have to be paying taxes and penalties and fees and blah, blah, blah if you take it out early, right? That's one of the whole points of the 401k is that it's a tax shelter because you're not going to get taxed until you actually go to retire and remove it. And, hopefully that Trump removes taxes so we don't have to worry about those penalties down the road. And my understanding also is that you will get fewer, if any, penalties now, or just fewer, I'll put it that way, if you were to cash in your 401k right now because of COVID, that Trump has relinquished some of those tax penalties. But again, I don't really know if it would be worth it. Like Pimpy said, he cashed out his 401k to buy more coin. And in hindsight, he kind of regrets doing that. It was kind of more of an impulse thing. So the number one key to investing, whether you do silver or listen to anything I say or not, is do not buy on emotion. Please, please, please. But I'm just trying to give you some food for thought based on countless hours, researching things. Okay. So that is Noble Gold. Sorry, these videos are so long. I just want to give you a lot of info. Okay, silver.com. This is another good website to go to and just kind of scope around, do your due diligence in terms of checking everything out. If you're going to buy a gold coin, so the gold maples from Canada are kind of a good option. There's also one from, I think it's Austria. Ooh, these are kind of cool. Look at this. Halloween silver. Cool. Let's see. Oh, now this is kind of interesting. So I'll talk about this real briefly. But let me finish my thought on gold. Okay, so you can buy American Gold Buffalo, okay, just like you could with the... so this was actually a real coin. Like back in the day, people traded with gold buffaloes. Now, the Krugerrands is what I was thinking of. This is from South Africa. That's a common gold coin. The Austrian kangaroo, that's another common one. The gold Philharmonic from Austria. The Chinese gold panda, although this is one of the most common knockoffs from Wish.com, so be cautious about that. The British Britannia, that's another good one. And then the Canadian maple, and then, of course, the American gold eagle. So these are gorgeous. Look at that. Yeah, if I had countless money, I'd be buying some gold eagles for sure. Okay, and then you can also buy gold bars. They come in different sizes. So here's another thing that preppers would do. They'd buy fractional bars. So you'd get, you can buy like the 1 ounce bars here, but you can buy little fractional bars. So this is kind of cool. It's not a good value because you're going to pay a lot more for the novelty of it. Pound for pound for like the actual ratio of what you're paying per weight. Okay. But Scottsdale, like I bought one of these. It was kind of cool. More of, I suppose, like a novelty thing. And I actually almost threw it away because I thought I went through everything and I threw the package away. I'm like, oh, where's my gold? And then I went and they had like separately packaged it and it was in the trash. So luckily I got it out in time. But this is 1/100th of a troy ounce. So when you look at the weight, when you buy a coin, you want to see several things. So you want to find the weight and you want to have the actual quality, the amount. So it will say like 1 ounce of silver, pure silver, and then it will say like 0.999 silver or 0.49. 49's fine, something like that is a common phrase. So it's just the different purity level. So, but this is kind of cool. It's really tiny, but it's just kind of fun to have that. So anyway, so the preppers would buy these fractional because you can sell that just like the junk silver should, crap at the fan. So let's see. Was there anything else that I wanted to say about that? I'm just trying to be thorough here to give you guys as much info as possible. Okay, now these are kind of cool. So this is real currency sold in Utah. It's a gold-backed gold note. This is new. So in Utah, they are actually selling these, what would they be? Just bills, I suppose. But it's made with a little bit of gold. And so this is going to, of course, go up in value when gold does as well. So it's just kind of fun to look at that Utah's kind of got their act together on this front. And of course, Utah is one of those states where executions are still legal hangings. So we'll see how many of the deep state swamp racks get tried in Utah. Okay, universalcoin.com. This is another good site, reputable. I think I might have bought some through them. And of course, they've got some cool Trump coins. And see, as low as 25, 26. So this is actually then cheaper than some of the other sites that I was mentioning earlier. I think even Gainesville. So some of these fluctuate, and this is why it's so important to shop around, right? So silver right now is what, 24, 25? And see how it, if I remember correctly, it fluctuated just a little bit from even when I started doing these videos like an hour or two ago. So 24, 20, so it's only $1 over spot price. That's a damn good deal, you guys, damn good deal. And it's Trump to boot. Okay, so there's that. Okay, another good site is Golden Eagle Coins. I don't think I've bought through them, but I've heard good things. So you can, same drill, right? Scope around. I haven't really looked at palladium. My understanding is that this price really shoots up in regards because of this is used a lot in engines for cars. And so that's why that price has gone up lately. And rhodium, I don't know much about rhodium, but pretty darn expensive. $12,000 an ounce. Okay, SD Bullion. This is another great website, kind of like, what was the other one? JM Bullion. That this site also has a lot of cool different types of coins that are being offered. Sometimes you'll have like gold infused on the silver coin too. Wow, they've got a James Bond one. That's pretty cool. So let's go to this for a minute, okay? So again, see right here, $29.30. Let's go back. So a generic silver round is going to be like under $30, right? Like what we've been talking about right here. Trump 2020 White House Privy Silver Round, okay? $29.30, or if you buy one, okay, see where it says $30.30? So that's 1 ounce of silver, and then you go over here, and same amount of metal, 1 ounce, but see how it's cool because it's James Bond. Now what are they charging? $87, you see. So it just depends on what your goals are. But really cool. Okay, I have been wanting to scope this website out more, but I've heard good things about this one too. This is Texas Precious Metals. So here's another site to look into. Golddealer.com. This is another one to check out. So what you can do is like take notes as you're watching this, and just what I do is I bookmark and tab all of these. So then when I go back and I'm like trying to figure out what I want to buy or look at the different prices, then I have all the sites listed in one spot. Okay, Monarch Precious Metals. So this is kind of cool because they've got lots of different types of ways in which you can get your metals. So we'll go through some of these. So look at this. This is kind of cool. So this one comes in like a wooden box right here. These are skulls that are made out of the metal. What is this? A block bar plus solid mahogany wood building base. See? So here's an alien, silver alien head. Amber Wheeler. You might like that. Okay, and then copper. See, look, isn't this kind of cool? You got like gaming dice. See, so it's fun to just see the creativity of how people. Ooh, I bought this one before. Let me pull this up. This is kind of cool. Egypt. How awesome is that, huh? Egypt relic goddess bar. Yeah. Very cool. Again, come to Egypt, guys. You'll want to check it out. It changed my life. Next spring. It's going to be off the hook. And everything's opened up in Egypt. He said all the sites are available, that for the most part you won't have to do any sort of testing. Some places do have like temperature checks, but in terms of masks, he said it's kind of hit and miss. So it's not like lockdown requirement like you have here. So that's kind of cool. Okay, another website is Bullion Exchanges. They've got some really cool different coin options. So just want to bring the site to your attention as well. Look at this Darth Vader one. Okay, now this is kind of cool. So a lot of these, let's see if it will open. My computer's going to be slow because I have so many tabs open. But so you'll see a lot of these coins that have kind of really, really, really cool, like the James Bond, I think, had this too. But a lot of these ones that have an awesome just description, or what do they call it? Obverse and reverse are the names for the two sides of the coin, are really cool. But then they kind of water it down because on the other side is, Queenie's face. So that's just going to be a common theme that you see. So have that on your radar. Okay, BGASC, recommend this site. I've had really good experiences with them. So, and again, they've got lots of options. So this right here is called a monster box. This is what I was saying earlier about what Neil would buy, that real estate guy from the first video. So he would buy these monster boxes of 500 coins each, and he just kept them in a vault. And he's already like more than double his money from when he started buying them this spring. So I don't know if it matters if they remain sealed, but yeah, monster boxes are, if you're wanting to buy in bulk, that's definitely what I'd recommend. Is if I had a lot of money, I'd just be like him. I'd be buying up monster boxes left and right. Okay. And the other nice thing here too is, like I mentioned earlier, remember how you can have different size metal that you can buy, right? So like 10 ounce, 100 ounce, 1 kilo. But the problem is that, I don't know if it's a problem, but it's so much easier to sell if you have the 1 ounce coins, because they're acknowledged, accepted everywhere. Every coin dealer in the world is going to buy them, and it's going to be really easy to flip around and sell those. So you've got a couple options in terms of investing. You can try to do like a short-term thing where you're buying it in order to sell it really quickly once the price goes up. I don't recommend that. I view this as like a long-term investment, and that's really kind of the best approach that you're wanting to take. So there are some kind of words of wisdom there. Okay, Monument Metals. This is another good site to look at. I've had good experience with them, and again, let's go here. So with this, see how you can buy like the generic rounds, right? Like we've been talking about. But on this one, this says silver rounds, secondary market, varied condition, any mint. So remember what I was saying earlier about the cold, how it's like the really poor quality visually for like the US Silver Eagles. Well, when you get secondary market and when it says like varied condition, okay, that's basically the same thing. So that it is code for your coin might not look pretty because it's not brand new, but you're going to get the best price. So look around, see the prices, check them out, on all these different sites to see what the best prices you can get for your metal. But this is a good one to look at. Okay. See, silver's even gone down from when we were talking 24.19. So it's going to fluctuate a little bit. Okay, so I think I've already talked about this, but there's lots of different types of constitutional or junk silver that you can buy. So the mercury dimes are what I hear from all these different videos I've been watching are like the best value. I don't really know how they gauge that, but that's what I keep hearing. So I have some Franklin $half. So why this price is so high of $200 is because you're buying a tube, which I think has 20 coins are in a tube. So you're going to get probably a better value than that. See, so if you got, let's see, yeah, well, you're just going to get a better value if you buy them in bulk. So there's that. But lots of different types of coin that you can buy. But the more you buy, the obviously cheaper in price it's going to be. So the Kennedy $half, again, it's 64 and earlier in date is going to be where the silver is still in it. And you can, if you're lucky, still find those at the bank if you go and try to buy some. Pippi has some stories that he shared about that. Okay, here's another good website, Silvertown. I've had good experiences with them too. Let's see, anything that I want to share in particular here. Just that a lot of the products that I've seen knockoff-wise have included Silvertown covers. So just be cautious of that, that they might try to put fake silver coin like inside of, let's see if I can find it. Inside of one of these like plastic containers. Let's go here. Let's see, silver commemoratives. Maybe that will show it. Yeah. So this is kind of what I'm talking about of this kind of plastic container here, that there's one that says Silvertown on it because it's made by this mint. And that's what a lot of the fake China does. So this one was, this coin here was used on, I think it was for September for that month as a bonus through Noble Gold, this coin here. But it's pretty cool because it was indented, so it actually went in a little bit. but it was the commemorative for walking on the moon. So kind of cool. Some of these ideas are really creative that people come up with for coins. Okay, what do I want to say about this? Silver is the best investment today. Yep, see, this guy knows. Almost done with this video here. So my first big decent investment was through this website here, golddealer.com. I actually went to my local coin dealer, which I'll mention in a minute, and he was willing to match any price online. And so I shared him a price from this website, golddealer.com, which he said was very reputable, 39 years. So see, this is one of the things you're wanting to look for. If you're going for other websites outside of the ones that I'm mentioning here, you want ones that are going to be reputable, which means that they've been around a while. Around a while is defined as at least like 5 to 10 years. So anything younger than that, I wouldn't buy from. But 39 years, that's going to be very, very reputable. Okay, because they have a lot to lose if they give you fake stuff, right? So, yeah, so I remember going there. He pulled up the website. He looked at the going price, and I think he was like, dang, I'm giving him such a good deal, but he was willing to match it, which was awesome. So I think I got my silver buffaloes the first go around for like 25, 26, something like that. So even though it's, yeah, so that's about what I paid right here, $26.93, about something like that. And this 23, this is what they buy it for. So a lot of them are going to buy around or maybe a little under spot price. And that's just kind of normal. Okay, so here's another site. What else do we have here? I haven't bought from this one before, so I can't personally speak to this, but this was another one that was supposedly very reputable. They've been around 19 years, so that's good. A+ accreditation. So I believe you start off actually with Better Business Bureau with an A+ rating, or at least an A rating. So that doesn't necessarily mean anything, but you can go in and read some of the reviews on Better Business Bureau if you're before you buy from somewhere. But just be cautious with that, because it's not always weighted equally. That if someone has a bad experience, of course, they're going to go on there and leave a review, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get that with a positive one. So like my local coin guy, he didn't have really that many positive reviews. And I'm like, dude, what? And I'm an elite Yelper. And so my reviews always go to the top, and they're going to be weighted more with elite status. So I'm going to leave him just a glowing review, because it's always been so positive, and he treats me like family, and he's just a solid dude and very trustworthy. So I'm going to share his website here in a minute. But this is Westminster Mint. So another one to look into. Okay, this is what I was mentioning earlier about the Scottsdale Stacker, the 10-ounce silver bar. So suppose it's more like a novelty kind of a thing if you get it this type, but also really cool looking. And so, I mean, part of what I'm doing is I'm taking like my nest egg money and I put it into metal, because I'm like, man, what did I want to do with that? Do I want to like buy a house? Did I want to, who knows how I wanted to invest it? And with this impending like housing crisis, I just thought, no, I don't want to take my money and invest it in a house if, there's going to be a crash that happens. Now, again, long term, would it matter? No, if I'm going to, be having this for a really long-term investment. But why not invest it in something that is basically guaranteed to have the value go up more, and then I can turn around. So here's the thinking process of this. Buy silver, gold, and crypto now, okay? Hold, wait for the value to go up. Once it goes up and the stock or the housing market crashes, then take some of your silver out, and then that is when you buy real estate, okay? And this is what the elite do. They don't leave their money in bank accounts, you guys. They take their money out and they reinvest it. They transfer it, which is a very important concept here. They're not buying metals. They're transferring their money into metals, and their fiat money into metals. And this is what the Rothschilds do, all of them. And even if you're not on that elite status, okay? And then they turn it into metals and they hold on to it. And then they take that and they invest it also into real estate. And then you take that real estate and you can, let's say you buy like a property that you can rent out then you're having an ongoing, how do I want to phrase it? Like people who are basically paying your mortgage for you through their monthly rent. And you gauge like your monthly rent based on cost of the mortgage, utilities, and any sort of other expenses, insurance, etc., so that you either come out neutral, so you're not having to pay for all those expenses, or you charge a little bit more and you actually make some money on top of it. And you can have like rental organizations that will be your middleman for you, that will do all the heavy lifting in terms of if there's issues or renters not having questions, things break down, them not paying their rent, all that sort of stuff. Like you don't have to worry about all that headache for yourself. Now they're going to take a cut, obviously, if you have that service, but it seems so worth it to not have to worry about all that headache. So that's just kind of the order of things that I recommend. Okay, let's go through some other questions here that I might have that have come up. Okay, so I think I'm going to hold off on the other questions and then what to do when you're going to sell your silver, and then talk about Nasara as well, and wait for the third installment of the video here. But I wanted to include this website because if you're getting flooded or overwhelmed with all these different websites to go to, this is just a great one to check out. It's findbullionprices.com, and I've used this one a lot, and it's just a great source in terms of where to go to try to find. It's not going to have all the websites, but it's going to have some of the most common ones, and you can go and just check around to see what the current prices are for different things. So let's say I'm wanting to buy, here's one, silver at spot deals. That's pretty cool. So you can go on there and see different websites that are actually selling silver at the spot price, which again, like I mentioned earlier, is very rare because most of them are going to charge a premium. But what do you see here, right? Out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. Okay, people are waking up. They're already jumping on this. So this is why I'm saying ASAP, folks, because this is just going to worsen. And the more the word gets out, and the more that there's disruption, especially right before the election, whenever people are worried about things going on geopolitically in the world, guess what? They turn to metals as a way to have some more confidence. Okay, so you go to silver, then you go to rounds. Okay, and then we're going to click on generic 1 ounce silver rounds, which is what I personally recommend. Okay, and then all these prices are all these websites are going to come up with their current value of what they're charging. See? So here's one, silver gold bull. Okay, 2606 for each coin, 1 ounce coin. SD bullion, we went there earlier, 2617. See? All right, so that's a great, great website. 2 more tabs in this video. So I'm going to include, yes, good. So where exactly do you go, generally speaking, to buy your silver? So you can buy online, and like I was mentioning earlier, older is better. So you're wanting to have a reputable bullion dealer. So they're going to be established for a fair amount of time. Kitco is a good one. Kitco is also a really good YouTube channel as well. Okay, think physical. So they're going to have a physical office in addition to an online presence. So that was kind of, I used this criteria when I went to find the guy that I'm going to recommend. Okay. Track review counts. So you want to look at reviews and see what other people think. So buy local. So again, what I would say is if you have time, go into your local coin dealers. Just type into like Google, like coin dealers near me, or, you know, just different types of buzzwords, you know, silver, gold, coins, etc., and see what's near you and go in there and try to establish a relationship. That's what I've done. I go roughly once a week, once every other week, and I just buy a coin or two and just say, hey, you know, how's it going? Good to see you again. And so you establish that rapport. And then when it comes to me actually going in to sell, it's possible that I could get a better value because they know me, right? Like Kenny, who knows me from this last tab where I buy locally, like he knows me. And so my hope is that when I actually go to sell, he's going to give me a good deal because I've purchased, so much through him. Okay. And I've referred other people. So buy local, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this one's important too. Diversification is important. So don't buy all of your coinage just from one source. Vary it up. This is why I'm spending so much time on all these different sources, all these different tabs to explore around, right? Okay, and just a shout out to one of my local guys that I buy from. So his website's called Coins Since 1994. So again, that's very reputable because he's been around for so long, and he does both coins as well as auctions online that he will sell. So I think it's through eBay. I can't remember where he actually has his auctions that he sells, but it was really cool. Like the first time I went there, I went at night, and I was kind of nervous actually. And I went there late at night. I'm sure he's thinking, man, who is this guy? Like he's wanting to spend this money, and it's like, 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. And, so he looked me up, went to my website, made sure that I was legit, wanted to photocopy my driver's license. And I actually appreciated his trepidation towards me because I'm like, wow, this guy is, legit in terms of wanting to check me out. So I like that. He's based in Southwest Washington. But again, if you live in Oregon or elsewhere, like he's not going to charge you state tax, which was really nice. And because it's not just him doing that, like that's actually Washington state law. But he also will beat any price. So we guaranteed to beat any price in the US for deals over $5,000. So remember that gold, what was it? Gold, silver, or buygold.com or whatever website I mentioned earlier, like showed him that he was willing to, come down his initial price and match that. And we made a good deal. So that's how businesses should operate. And just a really, really cool guy. So we've kind of chatted about a lot of different things and gone up there a number of times just to kind of buy some more from him, and have shared his name with local friends here. So, if you're wanting to look into auctions and whatnot, or if you live kind of in the Northwest region, can't recommend really anyone higher than him. Okay, so there's that. All right, so let's see what I have left. I might have to turn this into a third video. Nope, just have a little bit left. So let's see. I don't know. I can't gauge. I'm using Camtasia to record this, and I don't know how long this is going on for. I certainly don't want to intimidate or overwhelm you guys with the length of these videos. But I just have a little bit left. And so I think what I'm going to do is stop here, and then I'm going to record this last little section. Okay, so I'll see you in video number 3.